Hello, my name is Chris Bassford, and this is my project, Esport Evolved. I've been working on this for nearly a year now, and it's all based around disability gaming in a competitive space. So, first of all, what is esports? Originating from the arcade scene back in the late 70s, early 80s, esports has become a massive industry within the gaming community. Gamers from around the world who have put so many hours in practicing within their chosen game can compete in front of a crowd to show everyone how great they are at playing a particular game. Esports fills out stadiums all around the world. It's streamed on streaming websites such as Twitch TV, which is becoming Prime Gaming, and YouTube Gaming. And it's watched by millions of people around the world. And the prize pool just keeps increasing year on year. I think last year, the International, which is an annual esports world championship tournament for the game Dota 2, gave away over $34 million in prize money. So that just shows you how big esports has become. So looking at gaming overall, you'll see that there's 2.7 billion gamers worldwide, with Asia Pacific totaling the most, which is 1.5 billion gamers. And this number isn't just including people that play on consoles and PCs, but it's also including people that play games on their mobile phones and tablets. This mounts up to a massive $159.3 billion in global revenue. Within the global games market, esports contributes just over $1 billion to that total, with sponsorship being the biggest portion, totaling $614.9 million. Not surprising considering the increasing number of organizations in and out of the gaming industry sponsoring teams, players, tournaments, and organizers of these events, as well as the publishers themselves of the games being played. Advertising is a big part of the current presentation of esports, and there's no sign of it slowing down. The one contributing factor for the amount of money involved in esports is the 495 million people that watch esports around the world, with Asia Pacific being the largest amount of people that stream esports with 57%, and Europe coming in second with 16% of people watching esports, and third is North America with 12% of the market share. And Newzoo reports that this number will continue to increase, reaching 646 million by 2023. So with this large amount of people taking part in gaming, there is going to be many gamers who have some form of an impairment. Research carried out by PopCat comes to the conclusion that 20% of gamers around the world have some form of an impairment. And 92% of gamers with an impairment play games despite having many difficulties with the accessibility of the game, whether that's hardware or software. And many of these gamers, according to the Technology Review Journal, want to play the same mainstream games as able-bodied gamers. And their primary reason is to have fun and to challenge themselves. Unfortunately, this is something that's been ignored by a lot of the major publishers and organizations that are involved with gaming. But that is changing when you look at what Microsoft did a couple of years ago. In 2018, they released the Xbox Adaptive Controller, which reduces quite a lot of the barrier for disabled gamers wanting to play mainstream games against their friends online or within competitions. We are starting to see more game developers also incorporate accessibility options into the games themselves. So even though it's taken longer than it should have, game developers and publishers are starting to see the potential benefits for developing for disabled gamers. Unfortunately, this development in gaming hasn't transitioned over to esports. We're currently in a situation where the top 10 esport players is dominated by able-bodied male gamers. The prize money won by the top 10 players in the world ranges from $7 million and the lowest being $3 million. Within the world rankings, you have to go all the way down to 323 before you get to the number one female esport player in the world, second being 590 in the world, and third best being 1,094 in the world, with the prize money won being between $400,000 and $100,000, a drastic drop from the 7 to 3 million range that you see in the top 10 esport players. You have to go even further down the world rankings before you get to the most successful competitive player with a disability, Brollylegs, who ranks at 1,811 with the total prize winnings of $10,000. Dayton Jones, being the second player with an impairment, coming in at 3,475, and Ewok being 3,936 with a total prize winning of $2,083.33. The easiest explanation about the lack of inclusivity in esports is that people that have some form of disability are just not interested in competing at a high level. If that's the case, then I think it's more down to the fact the industry as a whole is not welcoming towards people with any sort of form of disability. A prime example is when I went to London to take some photographs of some of the esports arenas. As soon as you go through the Red Bull Sphere doors, you are greeted with a narrow spirally staircase that goes all the way to the bottom. When you get down to the bottom of the staircase, you're greeted with a counter that's 5 foot tall. The gaming stations are narrow, and there is a lack of variety in the controllers you can rent out. The Long Gaming Arena was exactly the same, except it was pitch black and the game stations were packed even closer together, making it not very easy for you to get some sort of wheelchair or any sort of aided control scheme to allow you to play within these gaming arenas. So one of the reasons for this, and is discussed within the research I've carried out throughout this semester, is gaming historically skewed towards a white male demographic between the ages of early 20s to early 30s. And that demographic is still dominating the gaming space, not only in esports arenas, but also within gaming organisations themselves. Hence why the marketing and games still have a lot of these sensibilities. I eventually reached out to organisations that are experts in the field of accessible gaming. I set up an interview with Dr. Mick Donegan, CEO of Special Effect Charity, and what he said completely changed my original project idea, which was based around creating an esport event just for disabled gamers. Within the interview, he said it's those moments when we enable someone who thought that they would never be able to join in suddenly realizes that they can. Video games is one of the most truly genuine inclusive uses of technology. A gamer we worked with played against a professional at a particular game online and managed to beat them and were really over the moon. Creating an esports event just around disabled gaming inadvertently created segregation within a medium that is uniquely positioned to be truly inclusive, which in turn should create an esports environment that has no divisions like you see in traditional sports today. So taking this feedback on board, I thought the natural shift would be to create a campaign pushing for inclusivity within esports. With this in mind, I set up an interview with Nick Diapa, who is the head of parasports at Loughborough University and has worked with a lot of sporting events and campaigns like Team GB in promoting disability within sports. We spoke a lot about sporting brands using disability to sell their products like Adidas and Tommy Hilfiger, as well as what Channel 4's Superhuman campaign did for the Paralympics, and this was his response. I was originally apprehensive about Channel 4's promotion of the Paralympics, but it turned out very positive. One thing that needs to be addressed is the types of disabilities used within advertising campaigns. A lot of what you see in the media is pretty disabilities, and that needs to be addressed. My campaign has come a long way from semester one with the use of amputees having gaming bridge the gap with their disability, but still using quite generic images of disability and not really promoting the gamers that the campaign has been set up for. In semester two, I started to focus more on gamers, but still using a generalized view of disabled gaming. I did change the design of my campaign as well to be more in line with what you see in gaming today and esports, as well as using imagery from popular game series such as Call of Duty and Fortnite. I also started branching out to other mediums like Instagram stories, webpage banners, GIFS, and merchandise. For this semester, I wanted a sleeker, simplified look to the design aesthetic of the campaign. I looked at what was currently being used in gaming. These are some of the examples, as you can see, that influenced the current look of my campaign. Simplified flat colours are used. Some use bright white backgrounds with black font, or as you can see with the Suicide Squad poster that's made by Rocksteady Games, on the right, a dark contrasting character in front of a white background. As you can see, these are some of the initial design outcomes influenced by the current designs used within gaming that you saw on the last slide. I have also tried to keep within the same theme that you saw in semester 2, but just keeping it cleaner with a bolder font. And this aesthetic carries over to other mediums, such as the GIFs that I will create, videos, and the moving posters, which you can currently see. Again, a lot of what I was producing was focusing on the look of the poster or videos and not on the community it was trying to represent. This is when I started looking at active gamers within esports, such as Brolylegs, who competes in Street Fighter tournaments around America, who you can see on the poster on the right of your screen. Along with this, I was thinking of new quotes and slogans to encompass the research I had been reading about the superhuman stereotype being detrimental to the disabled community in the long run. But this was just complicating things and muddying the overall message I was trying to portray with Esports Evolved. But the idea of focusing on real gamers within esports that the campaign has been created for was something I wanted to take forward, whilst creating a campaign that is community focused, allowing players with the same interests or stories about accessibility in gaming or esports being able to communicate with one another, as well as creating a platform where organisers can also converse with the community to make esports a more inclusive experience. And this is something that is already a big part of gaming, with game companies creating communities for their consoles and games, making gamers connect with a game or console beyond just playing it. It almost becomes a two-way relationship between the gamer and the games company, where the gamer can have just as much input into the creation of the game. Esport Evolved is a multimedia campaign with its main focus on building a community of like-minded gamers wanting to compete in esports but find the existing model of esports inaccessible and elitist. Esports Evolved is also going to try and avoid the usual tropes of existing campaigns representing people with impairments, like the superhuman stereotype that has become popular over recent years, and instead tell the story of gamers with impairments who have been able to compete in the current model of esports, showing the ups and downs involved and the support they receive from friends and family members. The way of doing this is to use existing channels available to me and adapting the campaign to that medium. This includes social media, a web page that is community focused, posters and billboards that can be placed within gaming conventions and esports events, as well as a documentary showing the world of esport, as well as following disabled gamers competing in competitive gaming. All these channels will connect to one another and cross-promote the other medium, making sure the campaign gets its furthest reach and to create a community that spans not just the website, but across all platforms. The ads that I create on YouTube will link through to the web page. The Spotlight homepage on the website links through to the Instagram account and so on. So let's have a look at the web page first. I've tried to create a community-focused web page as much as I can. So first of all, here is the Ask a Question button, as you can see being demonstrated. It brings up a instant messaging box which you can send a message directly to me and then I would be able to respond back to that person straight away. Back to the home page, as you can see, you've got the Live Play Compete slogan with all of the bars at the top taking you to which page you want. When you scroll down, it'll have a link to the trailer, to the YouTube channel, an Instagram link, and a Spotlight link, which actually links straight through to the Spotlight page on the website. In the middle of the page, you can see it has Explore Forum, and it tells you a little bit about it. And then underneath that is a link. Click on that and it takes you to the Forum page, and you can just click back on the Esport Evolve logo at the top to take you back to the home page. And if you click on the Our Mission link, it will take you to the page that explains what Esport Evolve is about and what it's campaigning for. We'll just go back to the home page and we'll start clicking through all the pages that are on the Esport Evolve website using the toolbar at the top. So we'll go back to the forum page, and this is basically where you'll be able to interact with the community, post articles that interest you, start conversations. You can comment under the articles. You can also ask questions and discuss what you've experienced, if that's esports accessibility difficulties or gaming difficulties. Next to this, the Esport Evolve About page, which you have seen already. There's a contact page that you can message me directly and I can get back to you. There is the documentary page, which will be the home to the Esport Life documentary that I have created. And then there is the community values page, so gamers can get heated in their discussions, but Esport Evolve asks for each person to respect one another's views. And at the bottom is the frequently asked questions tabs. And then there's the members page, so at the moment it's saying login to connect with members, but if you were logged in, it will tell you your details, your biography, and what level you are within the community. And last but not least is the shop, and this is where Esport Evolve will sell all of its merchandise. This is where the community can show its support and place their vinyl stickers on objects that they own, or wear a t-shirt or a jacket, and it just falls in line with how the gaming community shows their fandom towards a particular game. And the final thing is the login tab, so you can log in with your email address or with a social media account. And this webpage easily adapts to a mobile phone interface as well. I also created a trailer for the webpage, so this was created to go in front of YouTube videos or social media websites. So here it is. As well as the trailer, I also created webpage banners. So I designed one to be vertical and one to be horizontal, and these are designed to go on any sort of esport or gaming web pages like IGN or FaZe or League of Legends home pages. And it's also staying with the ethos of my initial plan, which is to put gamers who are already competing in esports at the forefront of the campaign. So you'll see Mike Brollylegs Begum and also Ewok and Dayton Wheels Jones on these webpage banners. So these are the social media homepages that I created for Esport Evolve, with the profile pictures that you'll find on the social media channels. And it is still keeping in line with that simplistic, bold design idea that I have looked at, with the bright gradient backgrounds and the simple, clean fonts. So looking at the Instagram page, one thing that you can use, which is a great way to connect up other channels within your campaign, is Instagram stories. So this one that you're seeing here is just an initial Esport Evolved story where you can swipe up, and when you do swipe up, it will take you straight to the Esport Evolved webpage. And along with this, it will actually show you who swipes up and who goes through to your homepage. So you get to see people that are coming in and having a look at your webpage and possibly signing up to the community. There's also the Instagram Stories Spotlight page, which highlights gamers that are competing at a high level within esports. Currently, you will see Brollylegs, Ewok, and Dayton Jones And Spotlight is designed to highlight and promote the player's own voice without it being skewed for other reasons. And these are just an extension of the Instagram stories. So this goes into a bit more information about the background of the player, whilst also keeping their voice at the forefront. And these photos that will be on Instagram will link through to the Spotlight forum, which is on the Esport Evolved webpage. And visually, I've also shown the characters within the games that the Esport players compete in. And this is essentially what the Esport Evolved Instagram page will look like, with a bio underneath letting people know what Esport Evolved is about. And the last thing created for Instagram is the shop, which is on the Instagram stories page. And this allows people to click through to the shop, which is on the Esport Evolved webpage. And then there's GIFS, used a lot within the gaming community for gamers to put their point across or to take the mickey out of a rival game or console. They are very versatile and can be used within message boards, emails, profile pictures, and so on. And if done right, can embody a message without the need of text. These are what I've come up with, and keeping with the aesthetic that was set out at the beginning, which was to keep it clean, simple, and to put the gamer at the forefront of the campaign.
Holy crap! They won the top side 4v4! That was like a graphical glitch. Debug mode. How did he come back from that? He had 11. That shot just high, follow up from Squishy, and Cloud9 take game 1.
As well as the GIFs, I also created this looping video, which consists of esports footage, as well as commentary from esporting events running in the background. I thought that this could also be used for a GIF. It says the join the conversation along with the Esport Evolved hashtag and website. And I also thought it could be used on billboards as a moving poster at gaming conventions where people are walking past it, and esports arenas. And then there's the Esport Evolved trailer, which is designed to show viewers what esport is about and also show people what gaming accessibility is about. So here is just the beginning of the Esport Evolved trailer. You can watch the rest of the video on the Esport Evolved YouTube channel, but because it's quite a long video, I thought that there needed to be a shorter version that you could stick in front of the YouTube adverts. So here is the shorter version of the Esport Evolved trailer.
I'm the best! Are you kidding me? I got flippers for hands, baby!
And now it's looking at the posters and billboards of Esport Evolved. So the posters are pretty much an extension of what I have done digitally. So they still have the join the conversation on them, with the gamers who are in esports at the forefront of the campaign and the imagery. And they are designed to be placed around esports arenas, gaming conventions, and towns and cities. So this is a mock-up inside the gaming arena with two banners, one saying what Esport Evolved is about and the other saying join the conversation. These series of posters are an extension of the Spotlight segment that you'll find on the Esport Evolved Instagram page and the Esport Evolved webpage forums. They use quotes said by Brollylegs, Wheels and Ewok, and they are designed to be placed outside gaming conventions and also around towns and cities. And there's also freestanding banners to go outside gaming arenas. Inside the stadium, there's also banners to go behind the game stations with the characters from popular esport games. And as you can see, the same banner being suspended from the roof of a gaming convention centre. And these are banners to be put on barriers at conventions where there are going to be people queuing up. So as you can see on this photo at the EGX event, with the images of Wheels and Ewok and their characters in their chosen games. And here is a large banner with Brollylegs and his chosen character from Street Fighter. And this is a poster promoting the Esport Evolved shop with the merchandise that's available to buy. And this is a banner promoting the website of Esport Evolved in a esports arena and showing all of the different pages that it has. And this is a portrait version of the previous poster. And this is an alternative area of the website poster, and you can get a closer look at the different pages that it's showing off on the poster itself. And these are posters that are designed to go in the London Underground, and because there will be all types of people seeing these posters, they have to explain a bit more about what Esport Evolved is about. And these are freestanding flags, which make it so easy to place around gaming conventions and esport arenas if there isn't any allocated space for any sort of posters or billboards. And this would be the dream scenario where a big championship like the League of Legends would hold an event in association with Esport Evolved, as well as promoting inclusivity in their future events. And then we come on to the merchandise. So within gaming, merchandise is a massive thing for showing your appreciation and support for a game or games company. Along with this, because it's esports that the campaign is all about, quite a lot of the merchandise is skewed towards a sports aesthetic. This includes t-shirts with the game's logos played in esports. And that includes caps. This is a design with the Esport Evolved logo and slogan, along with the Dota 2 logo and character. Another big thing in gaming is vinyls, customizing your consoles and controllers. So I thought it'd be a great way to customize the Xbox Adaptive Controller. And this also includes vinyls that you can stick on products that you already own, such as your laptop and backpack, as well as drink bottles to keep yourself hydrated when playing the next round in your game. As well as an Esport Evolved jacket, just like the t-shirts, you can decide to have a gaming logo on there as well. And all these items sit on the Esport Evolved shop webpage, and they can buy something to show their support, and it helps Esport Evolved to spread the message of more inclusivity within esport events. So last but not least is the documentary that I have produced. So the idea came from researching a lot about the best way to campaign for disabled people and how they respond to advertising when it involves selling something to the disabled community. And the conclusion is not to go to the stereotypical superhuman approach or the sympathy stereotype, but to just show disabled people living out their lives, the good and the bad, and the support and practice that goes into them competing at a high level. The posters that you see now are purposely designed to look different to the rest of the campaign. This is to differentiate it from other posters by Esport Evolved, and it's the aesthetic that is more in line with that of a documentary. It still keeps with the use of Brollylegs, Wheels and Ewok being at the forefront of the campaign. Now what you're going to see is the Esport Life trailer, which also can work as an animated poster. So here it is. chose to do a documentary because I felt accessibility in esport hasn't been given that degree of high polish that comes with a well-edited documentary. It also tries and shows esports origins from the arcade scene into sellout arenas, while showing gamers like Brollylegs navigate and find their place in this fast-growing industry. So I hope I have shown what Esport Evolved is set out to do, to start a conversation about the lack of inclusivity within esports and at the same time highlighting players that are pushing esports into new directions, creating a community of like-minded gamers who can come together, discuss their experiences and show esport organisers that there's more than just the current players that watch and want to compete in esport events. And I think the natural progression for this campaign is to now get in contact with organisations within the esports and gaming space and see whether they are interested in partnering or whether they would want to work side by side with Esport Evolved to make their events a lot more inclusive for gamers that don't just play with the standard controller setup. I'm going to finish the presentation with the first 3 minutes from the documentary. You can see the full first episode on the Esport Evolved website. And thank you for watching.
16-bit arcade graphics. 16-bit.
Remember, do not underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Scary video games are the latest craze to sweep the country and most of the world too. Millions of people are addicted to hours of gazing at electronic images on game screens in arcades and in their own homes. What makes video games so popular? Well, we search for an answer as we begin a special series on Video Fever, games people play.
He's freezed, he gets both kills, and the grand final continues.
There is so much at stake. There is so much money to be made that the manufacturers can ill afford to ignore trends in the marketplace. But the trends often change faster than the electronic light of the ray gun, and that makes the risk all that much greater.
Sorry, before you start playing, are you Brollylegs?
Yeah.
Mass respect.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
Brollylegs and Sinister X!
Match time. Let's go.
For me as a player, for us as people who are from this generation who grew up with video games, it was the most normal thing on the planet. That's why we ended up in stadiums, because we always believed, people have to be playing in front of a big crowd.
So many players are coming out. A lot of them, big names, they'll all be there, so it's going to be nerve-wracking.
Nice. Good start.
When the crowd goes wild, especially when Broly's playing, it's so much fun.
Let's go! Let's go!
All we ever want to do is just fit in. And when you come to some place like this, you just fit right in like a piece of a puzzle, and it feels really good. You can be yourself, and people won't judge you.
This is a 13-year-old girl, she's a streamer named Ewok, she's deaf, and she's 13, and she's disgustingly good.
Yeah, FaZe Ewok, let's go!
I want to give a massive welcome to FaZe Ewok, the first girl ever join FaZe.